comrades and friends. Welcome to the program, Global Weekly News, serial number 149. Next week, I will reach 150. First item, 1992, Los Angeles riots. Hey. On 29th April 1992, the people of Los Angeles took to the streets to protest against police brutality, white supremacy, and police impunity after the acquittal of 4 officers for brutally attacking a young black man, Rodney King. The police responded with more violence, and the state had over 10,000 security forces personnel, including police, military, and National Guard. 63 people were killed, 2,383 were injured, more than 12,000 people arrested. This is Los Angeles of USA in 1992. Next, we are going to an earthquake in Ecuador. On 25th April morning, an earthquake measuring 6.3 on Richter scale occurred in Ecuador, a South American country. The epicenter was located 9 kilometers from Esmeraldas, the capital of Ecuador, at a depth of 30 kilometers. The most affected region was the impoverished province of Esmeraldas, already struggling with inadequate basic services, gang violence, and most recently, a massive oil spill. Several houses, educational units, land and buildings, and other tourist buildings were severely damaged by the incident. Several public institutions have suffered considerable damages. The state has opened shelters and delivered aid to the affected people. Through a post on X, social media, the former Twitter, the right-wing president Daniel Noboa ordered the immediate deployment of all ministers to the province of Esmeraldas to coordinate the relief measures. The government is with you. However, despite this message, the president and several of his most important ministers are not in Ecuador. They traveled to France, the UK, United Arab Emirates, Israel, etc., following their attendance at the funeral of Pope Francis. Many expected that Noboa would cancel his trip to return immediately to Ecuador to personally attend to the crisis in Esmeraldas. But Daniel Noboa did not cancel the trip. Next we go to Ireland. West of England is Ireland. Third item, Ireland. April 29, 1916 marked the last day of Easter Rising. Despite the rebellion being brutally suppressed by British colonial forces, it sparked the flame of the struggle for independence across Ireland. On 29th April 1916, Irish Republicans were defeated by British colonial imperialists. On 24th April 1916, Irish independentists had launched an armed insurrection against British rule in Ireland, known as the Easter Rebellion. After years of continued struggle, Ireland achieved partial independence in 1921. The Republic of Ireland was formally established in 1949. However, Britain retained control of 6 counties, 6 states in Northern Ireland. British forces swiftly retaliated. Soon retaliated with the overwhelming military force. After a week of intense fighting, the rebellion was crushed. Approximately 485 people were killed and over 2,000 were wounded. Dublin suffered heavy destruction. and more than 3,000 people were arrested. In May 1916, British authorities executed 16 leaders of the Easter Uprising without fair trials, provoked widespread anger against Ireland and radicalized many. Fourth item, comrades. Boxing legend Muhammad Ali. On 28th April 1967, boxing legend and civil rights activist Muhammad Ali refused induction into the US Army, citing that the enemies of black, poor and working class people of the US were not in Vietnam, 10,000 miles away, but in the US itself. That same day, Muhammad Ali was arrested for violating the draft law. The New York State Athletic Commission suspended his boxing license and he was stripped of his World Heavyweight Champion title from the World Boxing Association. He was unable to fight until 1971 when his conviction was overturned. Despite the heavy campaign against him, Muhammad Ali stood firm, and instead of being isolated, he became a major figure in the anti-war and civil rights movements. Muhammad Ali said, "I will not go 10,000 miles from US to help murder and kill another poor people simply to continue the domination of white slave masters." Next we go to Congo. Congo M23 rebels agreed to ceasefire. After months of intense fighting, so many months of fighting, the Congolese government and M23 rebels have agreed to a ceasefire brokered through Qatar-mediated talks. While hopeful, the real challenge lies in ensuring the ceasefire leads to lasting stability in eastern Congo. The Congolese government and the Rwandan-backed M23 rebels agreed to a ceasefire, bringing a halt to nearly 4 months of intense fighting that has claimed thousands of lives and displaced hundreds of thousands. The agreement was announced on April 23, 2025 as a part of mediation efforts by Qatar. In March, the Emir of Qatar convened a meeting with the Congolese president and Rwandan president to discuss the situation in the Democratic Republic of Congo. These negotiations culminated in statements pledging a cessation of hostilities until peace talks could conclude in a formal settlement through further talks in Doha. Just 2 days after these talks, representatives of Congo and Rwanda met in Washington, D.C. in a meeting brokered by the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Both Rubio and Trump's senior advisor emphasized that achieving peace in the Congo's mineral-rich eastern region would be advantageous for U.S. and Western companies. Sixth item, comrades. No law of jungle in International Trade Union. China warns. Sorry for the break. No law of jungle in international trade. China wants. Trump is reportedly putting pressure on countries seeking bilateral agreement to avoid high tariffs to cut down their trade with China. Speaking in an informal meeting of the UN Security Council on 23rd April, China's permanent representative, Fu Kang, questioned the unilateralism pursued by the US in international trade, claiming it severely infringes upon the legitimate rights and interests of all countries and violates the rule-based multilateral trading system. Fu Kang offered Chinese cooperation in dealing with the situation to the countries which are willing to stand for free and fair international trade. The implementation of the reciprocal tariffs has been postponed for 90 days for all countries except China, whose exports to the US currently face a 145% tariff. In response to the steep tariff against its governments, China announced in response to the steep tariff against Chinese goods, China announced a 125% tariff on imports from the US. It also pledged to fight Trump's strong-arming tactics and has so far refused to sign a bilateral agreement. Chinese finance minister claimed that trade tensions created by Trump's arbitrary policies are disrupting global industrial and supply chains, undermining the momentum of global economic growth. He claimed that trade and tariff wars have no winners. China maintained that it respects every country's right to safeguard its interests and negotiate deals with the US. However, it warned that if China's interests are harmed, it can take reciprocal measures as it is determined and capable of safeguarding its own rights and interests. Next we go to Colombia. Seventh item completes. Social and grassroots movements in Colombia started a series of national strikes and protests against the far-right government of Ivan Duque that would ultimately last until December 2021. The government responded with police brutality and repression, leaving a death toll of 80 people killed, over 1,200 injured, 28 sexual assaults, 3 police officers dead, and 1,083 police officers got injured. The Duque government lost prestige, and in the elections of 2022, Colombians decided to go towards another course. Progressive candidates Gustavo Petro for president and Francia Marquez for vice president won the elections, starting a new path in Colombia. Eighth item, comrades. Indefinite national strike in Panama. Construction workers, teachers, and other sections of Panamanians took to the streets of the Caribbean country Panama on 28th April in at least 7 provinces to demand, among other things, the repeal of Law 462, which reforms the pension system as well as an end to US interference in Panama affairs. Mobilizations were led by the Single Union of Construction and Similar Workers and several teachers' unions as part of an indefinite strike which began on April 28. The pension reform law threatens Panamanians as it paves the way for the privatization of social security and a potential reduction of the pensions that contributors will receive. The demonstrators demanded that the neoliberal government has undermined the country's sovereignty in the face of US ambitions to regain control of the Panama Canal, as well as possible installation of several US military bases on Panamanian soil. The groups have continued to call for mobilizations in cities and towns across the country and will have a major day of action on 1st May, International Workers' Day. On 28th April, protesters were met with police repression in Panama City. Several teachers were detained. Students and workers of the University of Panama joined the strike, and protested at the university facilities. The police excessively oppressed students, professors, and administrative staff. The unions demanded the release of all the detainees. Next item, comrade, is important news. Golden Jubilee of Vietnam victory. Mera naam, hamara naam, tumhara naam, Vietnam. After 30 years of resistance, Saigon's liberation on April 30, 1975, ended war, claiming millions of lives. From Ho Chi Minh's defiance to guerrilla resistance, the Vietnamese people and the resistance prevailed, proving no amount of money or bombs from the world's most powerful empire can crush an organized people's will for freedom. On April 1975, North Vietnamese forces liberated the South Vietnamese capital of Saigon, marking the end of a 3-decade conflict that claimed over 35 lakh lives, mostly Vietnamese people of US airstrikes. Anti-French resistance war, 19th December 1946 to 21st July 1954, Democratic Republic of Vietnam versus France. After defeating French troops in the decisive battle of Dien Bien Phu, Vietnam delegates and members of a newly elected French government agreed at the International Geneva Conference to transfer control of North Vietnam to the Democratic Republic of Vietnam. Result: independence of Vietnam, Laos and Cambodia. Boost to independence movements in other French colonies like Algeria. If you do not condemn colonialism, if you do not side with the colonial people, what kind of revolution are you waging? The question was asked by Comrade Ho Chi Minh. The US rejected the Geneva Accords and funded South Vietnam's anti-communist, pro-US conservative government. In 1950s, several small numbers of US military advisors deployed in Vietnam. 1961, large-scale US deployments begin. 1965, about active combat troops arrive. Over 5 lakh US troops stationed by 1969. US tactics and Vietnamese death toll. Mass bombing of Hanoi, Viet Cong bases, that is Vietnam guerrilla bases and supply routes. 75 lakh tons of bombs dropped on Vietnam, Laos and Cambodia. You compare this, 27 lakh tons bombs used in Second World War over Europe. Aggressive jungle and village raids to flush out victory. Napalm bombs burnt jungles and civilians. America used the terrific napalm bombs. Defoliant, that is insecticides, caused long-term health damage, civilian deaths. Example, My Lai massacre. Vietnamese tactics against the US guerrilla warfare. Peasants as the base. Vietnamese, they have won. I mean, they win over hearts and minds by redistributing land and aiding the farmers. Vietnamese provided food, intelligence and hiding places. Hit and run tactics, attacks. Fear of US South Vietnamese land seizures. Tunnel networks. Hospitals, arms factories, escape routes in tunnels. AK-47s, RPGs, Chinese, Soviet supplies and homemade mines were used in the guerrilla warfare. Today, with boundless joy throughout the country, 4.5 crore Vietnamese people are jubilantly celebrating the great victory of 1945 in completely defeating the war of aggression and the neo-colonialist rule of US imperialism. Long live Vietnam. And down with US imperialism. 10th item, comrades, Burkina Faso dismantles another coup attack. Mali, Niger and Burkina Faso have formed Sahel Alliance in West Africa. On 21st April, Burkina Faso's military authorities announced that they had dismantled a major plot and aimed at promoting a coup and serving total chaos in the West African country. Thousands of Africans across the continent rallied on 30th April under the unified call of Hands Off the Sahel Alliance to express their solidarity with Burkina Faso and its revolutionary leader, Captain Ibrahim Traore. Protesters strongly condemned foreign interference. Under Captain Ibrahim Traore, Burkina Faso has become a symbol of African dignity and resistance, said the Socialist Movement of Ghana, which co-organized the solidarity protest in Ghana. The Sahel Alliance has emerged as a symbol of West African resistance against neo-colonialism. The alliance was formed after all three nations expelled French troops and ended military cooperation with the former colonial powers. Ghana Socialist Movement issued a statement. Patrice Lumumba, Kwame Nkrumah, Amilcar Cabral, Thomas Sankara, Western countries were attacking these independent African leaders. Their only crime was to insist that their country's natural resources serve their people. What is unfolding in the Sahel region today represents a growing wind of change sweeping across Africa. Next item, comrades. Italy marks 80th anniversary of liberation from fascism, and the 80th anniversary of liberation from Nazi fascism left forces in Italy mobilized against the genocide, armament and the Giorgia Meloni government of Italy. Dozens of events were organized on 25th April, the Liberation Day, despite ongoing attempts by the Meloni government and right-wing forces to rewrite or erase the memory of the resistance. 80 years ago, our grandparents freed us from the grip of fascism. But remembering the past is not enough. Granato, a group leader, said during a demonstration in Naples, the call to stop the genocide and cut off ties with Israel was given. On 24th May, a National Assembly will take place in Rome with a mass demonstration will take place on 21st June all over Italy. Militarism has always been a tool of fascism. The militarization of Europe today goes hand in hand with growing authoritarianism at Italy and worsens conditions for the working class across Europe. Lastly, we go to Belgium, comrades. 12th item. On 27th April, thousands of people demonstrated in Brussels demanding an end to policies that would severely impact workers' pensions and incomes and calling for the introduction of a real millionaires tax and a politics of peace. Leader of the Workers' Party of Belgium said that they refused to sacrifice their pensions to buy new F-35 fighter planes. Two of Belgium's largest union federations will be leading 29th April actions in an effort to block measures that would force people to work 52 hours a week for lower pensions and stagnating wages. Thank you, comrades. See you, Lal Salam, next week.